Hey, welcome back everyone. Today we're gonna not continue, but we're gonna fix the issue we had with our flashlight in the previous video. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna create all the functionality for the flashlight. As you probably remember, under the weapon masterclass, we have the flashlight activation, which is all the code that we need to use the flashlight itself. So in the masterclass, if the weapon does have a flashlight, this code will be available. If the weapon doesn't have a flashlight, we won't have access to this code. Okay, so we are going to use all the functionality in our first person character. I mean, not use it, but we're going to create the functionality so we can actually drain, the battery itself so we can make this code work. So we're going to go on our first person character, and here I have an action mapping which is set up to the F key. So to do this, you go to edit and you go under your project setting and all the way down to input here. So we have all our normal input. So we're going to create another action mapping by clicking on the top here, and we're going to call this flashlight, and you put the letter that you need and you'll be all good. Go back to your first person character, and here you just have to search for flashlight and you take your action event and you will be good. So we're going to start by doing is valid, and we're going to make sure that the input object will be our weapon class, so we can verify that we do have a weapon in our hand and that that weapon has access to the flashlight activation. Right, make sure you drag from weapon master class to have access to the flashlight activation that is in the weapon master class, so this one here. So we're going to do the logic for draining our flashlight. So the first thing, we're gonna need two variable. So we're gonna create two variable, and the first one will be our current battery, and we're gonna make sure that it's a float, and I'm gonna put this under flashlight, and I'm gonna create another variable. I'm gonna fix the name because I just messed it up. So duplicate this variable, and it's gonna be the max battery. So just duplicate this. I'm gonna call that max battery. So the current value for our stamina not our stamina, sorry. The current flashlight will be 100. So we're gonna start the game after compiling, obviously. We're gonna start the game with 100. We're gonna have 100 energy in our flashlight, and the max battery stamina is obviously we're gonna put 100 as well. Right? If you want the player to start with less battery at the beginning of the game, you can always change the value for your current battery level, right? So we're gonna start and we're gonna search for a branch, and in that branch here we're gonna make sure that we show drain. Right, we're gonna go under our boolean, and let's see if we have show drain power, show drain battery. So we're gonna take our show drain battery, we're gonna plug this to the condition, and from that we're gonna set our current battery. So let's search for current battery, and we're gonna set this value. We're gonna make sure that the value doesn't go above or under a certain value, so we're gonna clamp this float. So the minimum value, I mean the first value here will be our flashlight, so it's going to be the current battery. So we're going to drag our current battery, and we're going to do a subtraction, and how much battery we want to subtract. Right, we're going to subtract 0.5 every time we use it, and the max will be obviously our max battery level, so because we don't want to go above 100. From that, we're going to drag and we're going to search for equal, and we're going to search for we're going to search for equal. We're going to take the equal, and from this we're just going to do a branch, so you can just Alt B on your keyboard. We're going to connect the current battery, and the condition will be this equal node here, and if it's true, we're going to put our show drain battery, and I'm going to make sure that we set it to uncheck, and if it's false, well, we're gonna call our battery change. You remember at the beginning we did in the beginning at some point we use event dispatcher. Well, we're gonna continue to use this. So we're gonna create an event dispatcher, and this event dispatcher will be our battery change. So we're gonna go all the way down here on event dispatcher. I'm gonna create a new one, and we're gonna name this battery dispatcher, and we're gonna make sure that we're gonna compile the battery dispatcher, but we're gonna make an input in that. So we're gonna click here on the new parameter under input, and we're gonna call this, it's gonna be our percentage, right? It's gonna be our percentage battery. It's gonna be a float. So now we have our event dispatcher, so we can use it. So we're gonna take our event dispatcher, we're gonna call it, right? And we're gonna connect this to false, and we need a get battery percentage here. We need something here, right? We're gonna create just a little function, nothing major, just a little thing. So we're gonna create a function here, and we're gonna call that get battery percent, right? Because we want, as we did with our health and stamina, we're going to do the same thing with the battery. We're going to take our current battery and we're going to take our max battery. We're going to divide those two together so we can have a number. We're going to drag for our current battery, and we're just going to do a return node, return, there you go, right here, and we can just drag this right under it, and it's going to do the return value for us. We're going to compile this. We're going to go back to our event graph. Gonna go all the way up here. We're gonna select our battery percent. Make sure that we click on per, because we don't need the arrow on each side. So now when we drag it, it's look way better than having those white arrow. Now from that, we're gonna do a little delay, and I'm gonna put 1 second, and I'm gonna call back drain flashlight battery. So we're gonna go all the way back to here. So let's go through the code together, so make sure you understand what it's doing. So the first thing is that when we activate our flashlight, it's going to make sure that we do have a weapon in our hand. If we don't have a weapon in our hand, it's mean that we won't be able to activate, so it's not going to use any battery. If we do have a weapon that has access to a battery, like a flashlight, I mean, it's going to call the flashlight activation that is under the master weapon blueprint. So when that is done, the master weapon blueprint will do its things, and when we press F on our keyboard, it's gonna toggle the flashlight on, and when we press again, it's gonna it's gonna close off the flashlight, or turn off the flashlight, I should say. So when we are using our flashlight, we're gonna confirm that we are draining, so show drain if it's true. We confirm that it's true because of the weapon in the weapon itself. So on our flashlight activation, remember we use that. So if this is true, it's mean that here we're gonna go to true. So we're gonna go to our current battery, and our current battery will be every second, not yes, every second we're gonna remove 0.5 over our max battery, which is 100. So every second we're gonna use half a point, right? So I mean every 2 seconds we're gonna use 1 point out of 100. We're gonna make sure that it's not going above the max value for our battery. If our battery level is equal to 0, it's mean that it's going to be true. It's going to uncheck or show battery. So if it's unchecked this, automatically here, it's going to shut it down. It's going to shut it off. And if it's not true, it's mean that we have enough power. So our battery will go there, continue calling our dispatcher. As you remember, the dispatcher is just like calling, the police. You inform them of what is happening, and they're going to react according to what you're telling them. So we're going to call the dispatcher. It's going to wait 1 second, and it's going to continue to drain. So calling that function again until we have no more battery, or that we are pressing again F to shut off the battery, not the battery, the flashlight itself. Okay, so we're going to take all of that, and we're going to do a little comment on this, and we're going to call that is going to be our number 2. It's going to be drain flashlight. It's going to be the battery. I don't know how to write battery, I guess. Battery. And the first one here is going to be our action. So it's going to be number 1, and it's going to be activate our flashlight. We're going to try this if it's work. It's not going to work for this here. I mean, it's going to work for this, but we're not going to see anything on our screen because we do not have anything in our screen telling us how much battery we have, right? But for now, we should be able to test it out anyway. So we take our weapon. If we press F, right, you can see here, press F, there's no light turning on. So we're gonna have to go see why it's doing this. The reason why the flashlight is not working is that in every of our weapon that do has a flashlight, so we're gonna open the assault rifle and the shotgun. So we're gonna go in the assault rifle, and you can see here if you go all the way down under Boolean, is it is it an automatic weapon? Well, that's the assault rifle, so yes, it's an automatic weapon. And does that weapon has a flashlight attached to it? We're gonna say yes, so we're gonna check this out. What kind of bullet that the assault rifle is using? Well, it's gonna be 5.56. And is it a sniper rifle, a shotgun, or a rifle? We're gonna select rifle. So we're gonna go to our shotgun, and same thing, shotgun is it automatic shotgun? No. As a flashlight? Yes. What kind of bullet it's used? Well, it's gonna be 12 gauge. And what kind of weapon? So shotgun. Right, we're gonna open our sniper here. Same thing. We're gonna go under our boolean. No, sorry, right here. And is it automatic? No. As a flashlight? No. And a bullet type is gonna be 7.76. And is it a sniper? Yes. Compile. And now if we go back in the game, I'm gonna put that in full screen. I'm gonna click and take that weapon. So I have the assault rifle, press F, there's a flashlight on, press F again, no more flashlight. So I press B, drop the gun, take the shotgun, and press F, flashlight, press F, no flashlight, drop the gun, and I'm gonna take the sniper rifle here, press F, no flashlight because we didn't check as flashlight, and I can drop it. So as you can see, now everything is working. So that's pretty much this for this video, so I'll catch you in the next one.